Everyone here with more Nameless. And before we continue, I didn't, the status? Yeah. I didn't read, Lance's profile thing, since we're dating him. Let's read it. The doll received a lot of love, self-explanatory from its title, the #1 popular doll, but it was mass-produced because it was highly demanded. He was your first ball joint doll, and the only doll that was adopted when Grandpa was alive. So he knows how sad you were right after he passed away. He has a wall against other people. The reason he always speaks politely is because he thinks he's not close enough to them to be friendly. Alright. I have to get used to reading again. It's been a while. I feel a bit down for some reason. I should just go out and get some fresh air. Turned away from Yanho, was still surrounded by everyone and left the room. It would help if... are you kidding me? It's okay. I was 2 clicks away from reaching a chapter end. Oh my god. Ooh, Ice Prince. Oh, nice. Can't believe I was 2 clicks away from a chapter end. Oh my god, why am I like this? I headed towards the cafeteria for lunch as usual. Crowded as always. I waited in line for a long time to buy fresh juice and a chicken salad. Ever since the dolls became human, I started to spend less on doll items. And so naturally, I was able to stop eating ramen and all those junk food. As I entered the cafeteria, I saw Zoe waving exaggeratedly at me from afar. I hurried towards her, afraid she won't stop waving until I sit next to her. Huh? I was walking towards Zoe when I saw a familiar silver head in the corner. Lance. He was eating by himself again. In his hands was a small sandwich and a juice pack from the cafeteria store. No one approached him, as if he was surrounded by an invisible wall. Regardless, he just ate his sandwich like an expressionless robot. It is the only calm scene in this whole cafeteria. On the contrary, Yanho at my 5 o'clock was eating, surrounded by his friends. The two seemed to be equally popular, but people always gather around Yanho. Oh, what should I do? Well, I mean, I have to approach Lance, because I'm trying to date him. It just does not seem productive to ignore who I'm trying to date. I don't care if it might piss him off. I'm gonna at least try. I waved towards Zoe, who's furiously waving her hands at me, and I walked towards Lance. Huh? I was walking to Lance when I suddenly felt furious glances thrown at me. At this creepy feeling, I peered around. Finally realized that Lance wasn't really alone. Oh my god. There was a girl hesitating behind him, unable to actually approach him. And from afar, I noticed 2 girls at my 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock, coming here step by step. The air was tense from all the girls waiting for the right time to approach him. It was like an African grassland. To be more exact, a pack of lions hiding out in front of a delicious prey. I can't do this. If I go on like this, those lions will tear me to death. I was about to head back when someone shoved me from behind.
Oh, 미안해.
Thankfully, I wasn't shoved too hard. I just lost my balance a bit, so I was about to tell him I was fine. Oop. Lance suddenly stood up from his seat, and I lost my words. Suddenly, all the lions stared at me, and so did Lance.
미안. 앞을 안 보고 걷다가 그만.
Oh no, it was my fault. I was totally spacing out. The boy said he was sorry and walked away. Lance glanced at the boy.
괜찮습니까?
No. As Lance talked to me, I thought I could almost hear the furious glances rampaging towards me. I hurriedly nodded to shake the feeling off.
사람이 많은 곳에서 멍하니 있으니 그렇게 되는 겁니다.
Lance sighed and scolded me. I looked at him in rebellion for scolding me when we're not even at home. Lance suddenly changed the subject.
점심 식사입니까?
Lance looked at my salad and asked. Yeah. All the girls stirred at seeing Lance talk to me first and continue a conversation. I mean, I can understand, since Lance almost never starts a conversation. The more we talked, the more I felt the envy and jealousy coming at me. These girls want to murder me. Meanwhile, Lance silently looked towards his seat. No one sits around Lance. And he looks at me again. What?
저
Lance hesitates. He closes his mouth again. It looks like he has something to say.
아닙니다.
No, Lance, you can say it. What? Never mind what? Lance stood still and didn't think to sit back in his seat. It was as if he was silently screaming for attention. I was silent at the immense awkwardness, but suddenly I realized the whole cafeteria went quiet. Even the girls who were giggling with Yanho stared at me and Lance awkwardly together, standing awkwardly together. Feel smothered by Lance's gaze and the awkward air. I was about to be suffocated and sink into the ground.
거기 엄청나게 큰 바퀴벌레다.
Thanks, Zoe.
어디?
Oh my goodness. Zoe's son scream brought an instant uproar in the cafeteria.
싫어. 난 벌레가 제일 싫어.
Oh boy.
빨리 이쪽으로 피시나.
Zoe urgently whispered, "Is this Zoe's painstaking effort to save me from that awkward situation?" Without hesitation, I escaped and ran towards Zoe. I almost died drowning in that awkwardness.
바퀴벌레 어디 있어?
I'm sure it scurried off
Yeah.
somewhere.
잘 찾았어.
Oh man, that's amazing. Thanks, Zoe.
뭐야? 깜짝 놀랐잖아.
Situation calmed down and I gathered myself beside Zoe. After I calmed down, I felt my stomach growl. I was so tense I forgot I was hungry. Thanks, Zoe.
저거 봐.
What? Zoe pointed towards the back. I turned around and found Lance quietly eating his sandwich in his seat again. And a girl was marching towards him. Unlike me, she fought through all the stairs and confidently sat next to him. Look at her go. Her uniform told me she was an upperclassman. Her curls were impressive.
안녕, 랜스.
Everyone just stared at her confidently, as she confidently said hi to him. Lance didn't respond and just ate a sandwich.
부끄러워하긴. 소문에 의하면 넌 절대 남하고 같이 식사하지 않는다며? 그런데 사실은 외로움을 많이 타는 성격 아니야? 그러니까
Oh, whoops.
아니면 나에게만 특별히 허락해준 거야? 지금 말 안 해도 괜찮아. 사람이 많아서 부끄러운 건 이해해. 그런 건 둘만 있을 때 얘기하자. 넌 나처럼 당당한 여자를 좋아하는 것 같은데 나 어때?
She rattled on, ignoring the fact that Lance never even looked at her. Besides, she was like some narcissistic character from a cheesy soap opera. I don't know anyone like that, though. Is she joking?
아까 너한테 들이대던 그 짧은 머리 여자 좀 아니더라. 너도 보는 눈이 있으니까
What the? Excuse you!
그거 알아?
I was spacing out when I suddenly came back to my senses. Short-haired girl. Must be me. I was feeling a bit shocked that she mentioned me when Lance stopped eating and stood up.
랜스?
Oh boy.
먹을 때 누가 옆에 있는 건 질색입니다.
우.
그게 시끄러운 사람이라면 더욱더 사양이고요.
Lance took his half-eaten sandwich and walked towards the front door. Threw away the leftovers. You don't have to waste the food like that. In the trash can and walked out of the cafeteria.
어머,
Senior looked shocked and just stared as Lance walked away from her seat. The cafeteria instantly turned silent. Zoe, do you see any more cockroaches? But to be honest, she wasn't that chatty. What was that worth getting that mad about? Lance stopped on his way out and looked at me. Like before, he seemed to have something to say to me. But his attitude bothered me. It would be nice for him to treat people better so he could get along. Oh, what should I do? Well, again, I'm dating Lance. I will always be with him if I can be. I'm worried. Carefully came out of a cafeteria using the back door. And I carefully follow Lance. He's definitely heading towards the roof. Follow Lance to the rooftop and open the door after carefully peering around. Rants. I opened the door and found Lance standing in front of the railing. Lance! Hearing my voice, Lance turned around.
당신이 여기엔 어떻게?
Trying to date you? He had an inscrutable look. Wait! Barely caught my breath and looked up at him. Couldn't even look at him all day because of the other girls.
오셨군요.
Yeah, I had something to say, so I followed you. Lance looked a bit surprised.
제가 당신을 곤란하게 한 일이라도 있습니까? 말씀하시죠.
About the girl earlier. I think she was just being friendly. You were too brutal towards her.
그 선배라뇨.
I like when his eyes are wide. He's just so cute. Lance looked clueless. What? Did he forget already? He's like, why did I come up here again? I don't even know. At the cafeteria, I think you embarrassed her too much. You don't have to be so quiet in the cafeteria, you know. It's not the library.
제 옆에 앉았던 여학생 말이군요.
Lance seemed to finally remember.
당신이 신경 쓸 일은 아닙니다. 그저 그 사람이 제 옆에 있는 게 불쾌했고 전 그것을 표현했을 뿐입니다.
He was too self-assured. Man, his eyes are so pretty. They're just such a nice color. Felt like I instead had to compliment him for being honest, seeing the way he was so unashamed of what he did.
그 사람도 무리했습니다. 당신을 그런
She
식으로
was
지칭하는 것은
kind of rude.
마음에 들지 않았습니다.
Aww. What? Lance abruptly stopped talking.
당신이 신경 쓸 바는 아니지만요. 물론 제가 신경 쓸 바도 아니지만 말입니다.
Oh, he's so cute. He was still expressionless, but he seemed sulky. Seeing his face, I felt butterflies in my stomach for some reason. Oops. Felt like I wouldn't be able to say what I wanted to like this, so I shook my head. I have to say what I want. Lance, what I wanted to say is, you still have to be polite to other people. You know, manners. Lance is cold. In that coldness, I can't find any kindness towards other people. First thought it's because he's a doll, but not all dolls were like that. Can't really explain, but unlike the other boys, I think Lance is missing some sort of peace in his mind. I think the sense of distance he has towards others, like what I saw earlier, is a result of that. Every time I see that, I get worried.
서로에게 지켜야 할 예의라는 게 뭡니까?
Lance asked with vacant eyes. Those eyes were without malice and were genuinely asking me what it was. He must really not know. I'm saying you didn't have to be so harsh earlier in the cafeteria. You especially have to be a bit nicer to girls.
성차별적인 발언이라고 생각합니다만.
Because girls are more sensitive. Probably.
섬세하다고요?
Yes, we get hurt for tiny things. For example, girls feel hurt when you don't say thanks when they hand you bread, or coldly refuse when you ask for help about solving a math problem. When you ignore their texts.
문자 답장이라고 했습니까?
Must have overworked myself while listing everything. Lance cut me and asked. And he stared at me with a strange expression. Yeah, if you don't reply, it makes them think you don't care about them and they feel sad. I feel sad, Lance. You won't respond to my text. Oh, don't take that the wrong way. It doesn't mean that I care about those things. I added, remembering I texted Lance this morning. He won't care about that, would he? I mean, what I'm trying to say is... Okay, I should just directly tell him about the things that worry me. What I'm worried about is actually... You seem to build a wall around yourself, and you might really become a loner one day. Tae, Yanho, Red, Yuri and I might become the only people you have. I remember a moment Grandpa passed away. Still remember what made me buy the dolls. I can clearly recall the things I felt when I became alone in the empty house. Then I hid myself behind the dolls I bought and built an invisible wall so others can't enter. Then I was... It's okay to take it slow, so try to be a bit nicer to others. Just a bit. I unknowingly ended up pleading. I know how hard it is to be alone, so I didn't want that for Lance. Especially since Lance was the only one who was by me when I felt lonely.
이대로라도 상관없습니다.
Lance said in his emotionless, cold voice.
하지만 그것이 당신의 바람이라면 생각해 보겠습니다.
I lost words at what he added last. I'm surprised he didn't say it's none of my
하지만
business.
아까 그 사람의 발언은
Lance tried to continue but stopped.
아닙니다. 당신이 언급한 최소한의 매너라는 것을 지켜보도록 하죠. 그리고
Yes? I was thinking Lance talked more than usual when he
제
hesitated.
옆에서 식사를 하셔도 됩니다. 불편하지 않으시다면
Oh, it's so cute. Oh.
아까 망설이시는 것 같아서요.
The bell rang to announce lunch was over. Bump, bump, bump. My heart pounded louder than the bell. What was that? Wasn't anything
나가는
fancy.
문은 이쪽입니다. 열어드리겠습니다.
Why is my heart pounding? Lance opened the door and looked at me. His eyes sparkled beautifully. Silver hair caught in the wind enraptured my eyes. Alright, I'll end the episode off there. So, getting a little closer to Lance, warming up. Gonna have lunch with him in the future. So, yeah. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!